Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is my late to the party review, if you like, on the A2A Comanche. Now, I recently got given this by A2A themselves. Thanks very much, Lewis. It's an aircraft that everybody was saying, Hudson, you must try this. And everybody who did a review on it was saying, you know, this is one of the very best aircraft out there. I don't know, I just didn't fancy it at the time. There's a couple of reasons why I reached out to A2A myself and asked for this. There is another reason, which I'll tell you later on in the video. I put up a question in the Discord last night. I said, you know, do you want a late review on the Comanche? I recently got this. And that was quite a positive response on there, even from owners who already own it. Another reason I want to get this late review out. Now I've tried it. Now I've been flying it for the past few days. My goodness me. If I knew the aircraft was this good, if I knew the fidelity on it was so high and the experience of flying it, I would have bought this day one. Listen, that's why I'm making this review video. For those of you, even if you do own it, but for those of you especially who don't own it, this is available for both Xbox and PC. You're going to find out through the course of this video. This is an absolute must-buy aircraft, and it should be the next one on your list, especially if you like flying GA aircrafts. Listen, I won't spoil everything in the intro. Let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so you find me cold and dark at Hudson International Airport with tie downs and goodness knows what. Now, let's just talk. I think you get 5 different liveries with this aircraft when you buy it. So I believe I got the Piper one here. I'll show you on screen. 5 different ones when you buy it, Xbox or PC. If you're on PC, you can download quite a few more there all over the place. Let's take that off screen. So if you want more liveries, I'll be doing that. Just installing more liveries for this wonderful aircraft. Quick view of the external modelling. I'll come back to this in a better view in just a moment. You get a wonderful walk around feature with this aircraft, which is brilliant. There you go. What would that be? PBR texturing, 4K, that type of thing, textures. Wonderful looking aircraft. But let's get into the aircraft. Here's where the beauty lies. Let's just now. Tablet may be showing for you when you first, I think it was for me when I first installed the aircraft. You can move this around to various different positions. I prefer it's over here. If it's not showing, it'll be in this little pouch down here. Just click on it. Let's quickly go through these. I don't want to spend too much time, otherwise this video will be way too long. Gives you flight info there, some briefings. You got checklists there as well. I don't believe you get default checklists with this. Normally with aircraft you'll have the Microsoft Flight Sim checklist. Here you'd have to do it from here or refer to the POH, the Pilot Operations Handbook, which is the way I learnt this aircraft when I wanted to find out more information about the autopilot systems or the systems generally. I referred to the included manual. So there you go. Let's just take that off screen. And you've got an emergencies tab. You've got controls tabs. Here's interesting. GPS systems. By default, I believe it was for me at least, you don't have any GPS systems showing, just the nav and com radios. I've not got it turned on for the moment, but that's what you'll have showing up here. Or you can have things like the GNS 430, so default Garmin systems, or the 530 or dual. If you're lucky enough to own the GTNXI, which I do, you can have that installed, and that's the one I use. Fantastic. I'll put a video about the GTNXI down below in the description. Only available for PC, but it's probably the most thorough Garmin system out there, and it's certainly my favourite. Big favourite of mine. Let's just zoom out of that map. I'll be doing a circuit around Hudson International later. You can have things like remove the wheel chocks. Let's do it from here. Oops. So my wheel chocks are removed. And tie downs, that type of thing. Let's do that. Controls lock, so my controls, pilot cover, let's remove that. Parking brake I'll keep on. You've got autopilot controls here as well. You can do it from here or do it on the aircraft as well. Let's hide the yoke. You've got an autopilot master here. You've got a mode switch here for different things. Oops. No, I didn't mean to do that. That's better. Mode switch here for different things. Things like autopilot, heading mode, that type of thing. Altitude hold. I'll be showing you all that a little bit later. Fuel and payload. It's a persistent aircraft. When you go for a fly, you come back. Whatever fuel is remaining, you've got to top it up from here. You can't do it from the default payload manager. You've got to actually, so be aware of that. It's a persistent living aircraft. And maintenance. Now, you can have things like tip tanks on. I don't like them on personally, but you can have them off or on. Stabilizer tips. So there you go, you can see at the back of the aircraft. So a lot of things to play around with. I'm just giving you a quick overview. When the engine's up and running, maybe we'll come back to this later, you can see the engine, which is absolutely fascinating. The engine's working in the aircraft. Electrical system, be aware of this. If this battery drains, you need to charge it from here. I'm going through it, otherwise the video will be far too long. Quickly, otherwise the video will be far too long, but let's give you the walk around feature. This is absolutely fantastic. There's where you get a close-up of the texturing. You can change your propeller type as well, but we'll just do the walk around for now. So we'll do a quick walk around, check our oil, all the different noises. It gives you where your oil should be. That's how much oil I've got in at the moment, so keep an eye on that. You don't want your oil to run low every time you come and fly, people. There is an overhaul all tab. If you can't be bothered doing this, you can just overhaul the aircraft each time, but it kind of defeats the purpose doing that with this aircraft. There you go, wheel chocks removed as I did before. The tie downs are removed. Don't worry, they'll be cleared out when I'm going for taxiing and goodness knows what. Click, grab hold of the aileron to test it, make sure it's all free and clear, no obstructions, etc, etc. And you can walk around the whole aircraft. Let's just test this one, the right aileron. Yeah, it's fine. It's just brilliant. Check all your fuel tanks. Isn't that fantastic? And if you leave these off, by the way, you go for a taxi, these will remain off, so make sure you put them back in and lock the door, etc. Let's get back in the aircraft. Oops. Cockpit view. Which will be my cockpit view? That one. I was trying to find it. Okay, so there you go. So that's the tablet. Let's just put it back on controls. I'll be referring to that later. You can open your door. Be careful, if you have your door latch open, you go for a fly. If you don't latch your door, you'll hear noises and rattling on this door. You've got to latch it, otherwise you'll be not getting the best performance and be in danger of being sucked out of the door, in fact. I don't think that happens in a sim, but in real life it certainly will. So there you go. Okay, I can go over more. There's different controls here you can play with. Let's click on that. It'll give us different information. I can spend hours on this, but, you know, I'm just very eager to get up and running. Let's go for a quick taxi and fly. Okay, so I've got the aircraft up and running, all started. So let's just increase my throttle and release that parking brake, and we'll go for a little taxi around. Now watch as we taxi around. Look at the way the aircraft responds to bumps and divots along the taxiway and runway and grass. Let's get on the grass and show you that. Let's just increase that throttle a little bit. Only got a little bit of throttle engaged, of course. Look at the way it reacts. Oh, bumping along as you would expect if you're on grass. Now, a sailboat did improve the ground handling, of course, but I believe this has its own ground handling systems. the Comanche, and it feels absolutely fantastic and very realistic. So there you go, that's just to give you an idea. So I'm on the grass for that specific purpose. As we're down here, let's go and look at the... Now the engine's up and running. As you can see, you can look at your engines, seeing how they react. Isn't that fantastic? Oops, let's just keep an eye on what we're doing here. And we'll just taxi along here onto runway 27 and then get up in the air. There you go, should be a little bump or two coming up as we cross various different parts of the runway. Just feels brilliant. I mean, it's, you know, certain aircraft do feel good when taxiing. This is the best I've experienced yet. Reacts in the way you imagine it would do. So we're lined up. We'll line up for runway 27 here. And there's a lot to learn. I've only had it for a few days. I'm still very much learning the aircraft, poring over the POH Pilot Operations Handbook to make sure that I'm doing things correctly when the aircraft doesn't start up, for example, as it should do. Trying to keep things as persistent as I can. Now, oh, actually, let's just break there for a moment. When you taxi, mate, if you got rudder pedals especially, be very attentive. It will want to veer off left or right. If you want to maintain that centre line, you've got to make sure that you're constantly adjusting on your rudders, as you would imagine it would do in real life. So I've got my feet on the rudder pedals. Small adjustments there just to make sure that I'm maintaining that centre line across the runway. Let's go full throttle. And before you know it, this aircraft will just lift off the ground. There you go. It's done that under its own volition. Raise the gear. There we go. Now trimming. In the aircraft you would have this pitch trim handle. Watch it when I trim. I'm using the controls for that, but watch that handle. So if you're flying this aircraft, you'd have to turn the aircraft handle to trim. And you can see there it's got where it is at the moment. Up or down or neutral trim there. I'm in a slight trim down configuration. And I'll continue that a little bit. I didn't show you this either, but let's just stow that tablet for the moment. That's your landing gear handle. That's your flaps handle. Let's show you that flaps, shall we? Shouldn't go into flaps now, but as so to engage flaps, you pull the handle back or forwards. Let's raise the flaps. And what I'll do, I'll just do a quick circuit around London City Airport. But let's engage. Heading, hold. So we'll turn the autopilot switch on. And what I'll do it from here. Click this button a few times. So heading. Oh, let's just sync my heading bug. That green thing there you can see on the indicator there. The HSI. Click that button again. So now I'm in heading hold. So if I alter that heading hold, I'm doing that via my multi-panel, it will follow my heading. I want to engage altitude hold mode. I'll click on that button. The yoke will go forward. The autopilot now will engage my altitude hold there and keep me at that altitude and heading. Bring back that throttle. Don't want to overstress the poor engine. So what I'll do a left-hand circuit around London City Airport and bring you back when we're coming in to land. Okay, so as I'm turning back towards London City Airport, getting ready to turn on my base leg there, let's talk more about the aircraft and the noise. Now, as you can hear, it's quite noisy, isn't it? Let's open this side window. And that's where you start to get sucked out slowly. Yeah. Now, it does have a headphone option. Find that a bit noisy. Click in your headphone, that's better, isn't it? Outside the aircraft, you got that evocative buzzing noise of the Comanche. It's similar to a piper noise, isn't it? There we go, and all's doing well. Now, still under autopilot control. Just going to take a look at where my trim is, it's around neutral. And I'm going to take the altitude hold off. I don't want to climb. It does actually slip a little bit. You've got to be careful of that. There we go. As you can see, I'm on a slight descent there. That's fine. Only at around 55% throttle. I'm going to bring that throttle back to maybe 45%. It will take time for the engines and speed to decrease as it would in a real aircraft. There you go. It's slowly decreasing as I brought my throttle back. How are we doing? We can actually look center my view. Look to my left there. London City Airport is here. That's fine. So I'll do that visually. Keep bringing that throttle back. I want it to around 140ish if I can. Oh, because I've taken the altitude hold off, I'm gonna have to trim to maintain a level flight there. So I'll just trim up a wee bit. Nose up trim. There we go. And that speed will continue to drop as I do that. And it's that aspect when you decrease your throttle or increase your throttle, as I'll show you in a moment, works beautifully when coming into land. It's the icing on the cake for this aircraft. Listen, I've got to say, most aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim don't behave properly when landing GA aircraft, as I would expect them to. I've only had what I experienced in real aircraft, coming into land, realistic landing physics in X-Plane, really. That's where I've most enjoyed real landing physics. Now with this Comanche, we get them in Microsoft Flight Sim. Let's just make sure my trim is all set there. Still on the descent, so let's just trim up a bit more vigorously. There we go. And there we go. And I can actually put my gear down now. Show you that wonderful animation, nice and slow and smooth. Just make sure that I'm in level flight. And yeah, we need to start turning to our left in a moment. Oh, trim, trim, trim. So you've got to keep an eye on that aircraft. Don't want to be descending just yet, my friend. Still in heading mode, so I'll just turn it to the left there. And come on to our base leg. Just watch me trim as I do that, because it will start descending once again. As the aircraft slows, the nose of the aircraft will pitch down. So just be aware of that. I don't want to start descending just yet. There you go, back in level flight. It's very hands-on experience this, which is something else I love with the aircraft, with aircraft in general, when you get that hands-on experience. And just a bit more to the left there. London City, you can see the runway just ahead of us. Okay. Let's just bring up that trim again. Like I said, I don't want to start descending yet. And there we go. So we'll remove the headphones so we get the true noise of the aircraft. Wonderful noises associated with this. Again, some of the best I've seen or heard, rather, in that case. You know what, I'm going to disengage autopilot. Watch it, wherever your trim is. I mean, a nose up, it may actually go nose up when I disconnect the autopilot. No, it hasn't. It's just flashing to say it's disconnected. There we go. So we got it nice and controlled. That's because I didn't have altitude hold on. But now, full control of the aircraft. I'm just envisioning touching down at the threshold of the runway. Now I'm trimmed out, I'm just going to use throttle control. This is where the beauty lies. I'm going to increase that throttle. The nose will pitch up slightly, as it is there. Keep an eye on the vertical speed indicator. Well, you can see from the nose itself of the aircraft pitching up slightly. Oh, bit of turbulence. Inbuilt turbulence systems with this aircraft as well, which feel wonderful. You'll see it judder around as it hits air pockets and goodness knows what. Just increase that throttle. I'm a little bit low on that approach, so I'm increasing the throttle there to increase the pitch of the aircraft. I'm going to put some stage of flaps in, and that'll be with the flaps handles. Should we do that manually? Stole that. There we go. Now I need to decrease that throttle to decrease my angle there, or pitch angle. And as the flaps take hold, in fact, I need to Anyway, you get the idea. Very hand. Oh, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? Just trimming out. Keep that in the video. I could redo that part, but I won't. I didn't touch anything. It just says, look, I'm going to pitch you way up there, Hudson. Give you a bit of a test. There you go. I've got trimming now just to put it back to where it was. Decrease that throttle not too much because just trim back to where it was. It's around about there. That's better. Just decrease that throttle to pitch down. There you go, just doing that via throttle control at the moment, so decreasing the throttle to give myself a nice glide slope towards that threshold of the runway. Envisioning touching down around about here, we'll see how it turns out. Seems each landing in this aircraft is different as well, so just be aware of that. Put myself in landing flaps there. Very hands on this aircraft. It will surprise you every now and again and test you. Just be aware of that. And you can pull circuit breakers if you want emergency situations. I won't do that now. I've got my hands full as it is. There you go. Give myself a nice line up. Decreasing that throttle to pitch the nose of the aircraft down. And I'll increase it now. I don't want to come too low. A little bit. There you go, put myself on a nice glide slope towards that runway. And the aircraft will catch up with your movements. There you go, increase the throttle a little bit too low. Decrease, so I'm just making small adjustments with that throttle as I'm coming into land there. And I've got it just about right. Famous last words. It's my gear down, it is. Always double checking nowadays. I've had some embarrassing live stream flights with my gear up landing. And there you go, that will do. I'll just come over the runway there, threshold, and slowly decrease that throttle. Feet on my rudders, I'm going to need them. And there we go, let's try and smoke this landing. It's quite a low aircraft, so you've got to keep that in mind as well. Not too bad. You can hear all the bumps. I'm just fighting that rudder a little bit to keep that centre line. Slow down. It's okay, the landing. That's okay, I'll take that one. And it quickly slows down. Let's raise those flaps. And we'll taxi off and I'll give you the conclusion for this aircraft. Let's just taxi up. Oh, someone else is landing there on a live server. Let's just come off to the left here. Absolutely fine. And I'll just engage the parking brake. Must have aircraft. It gives you experiences like no other aircraft in the sim. Now I got this because I do have a hardware project. I reached out to A2A. Thank you again, A2A, for passing this on to me. I've got a hardware project in progress for this, which will be hopefully a soon to come video for the Comanche. But I had to make this video because it's the most visceral flight experience I've had to date in an aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim. It responds to controls when coming into land, so your throttle control, the best I've found in any GA aircraft to date. And it's just a wonderful example of what can be done in Microsoft Flight Sim with a GA aircraft, and fully recommended for either Xbox or PC. I'll link the A2A website down below in the description. Xboxes, you can buy this straight from the marketplace, and I fully recommend, highly recommend that you do. It's no wonder it's many people's favourite GA aircraft, and it's fast becoming my own. But do let me know your thoughts down below. Do you own it? How do you find it? Obviously, most people find it a fantastic fly. If you don't own it, are you tempted to buy it? Let us all know down below in the description. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon.